Great morning, business owners and managers, and welcome to another awesome episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. I am your host, Wes Walters, and on every single CX in the Morning, I bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and I leave you with gems. And by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can implement at the speed of now. You will learn the importance of implementing an awesome customer experience and how that affects the bottom line. And that by itself is pretty awesome. At the end of this broadcast, you will be able to take what you've learned, sharing it with your team and your business, making your team and your business better. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. It is the middle of the week. You should be halfway through your goals. You should be halfway through completing your weekly goals. And if you are not, you're going to have to double up right now because it's hard to keep up and it's harder to catch up. It's going to be a real quick show. Hey, just for the record, I did not share with you guys that we are in the triple digits now. This is show, if I'm not mistaken, I think 106. So we didn't celebrate, forgot to update you guys and let you guys know on show 100. But hey, we're over 100 now. We're at show 106, I think. And I just want to say thank you publicly. I want to say thank you. Again, I meant to do it on when we hit 100 on show 100, but just forgot, man. So I want to say publicly thank you for all that have continued to watch. When I started, I was like, nobody's going to watch me. Who wants to see, customer service? It's not sexy like social media. It's not sexy like, all of the trending topics. But, I said, it's needed. It's definitely needed. So I went ahead and waved the customer experience flag and took it up and have been waving it ever since. So thank you very much for tuning in as you always do. And, I'm going to continue to wave this flag until I'm in the dirt. So I guess one lesson from that, a lesson from those who are watching is that the importance of being consistent. You're going to have to be consistent and persistent. You're going to have to are you willing to do 100 shows? Yes, for free, 99. Yes, so you're going to have to do that. And these are just parts of growing your tribe. And that's fine. I love doing these shows in the morning. All right, so let's jump right into the juggling. Let the juggling begin. So it's story time, boys and girls. Gather around. I need to make it a conscious effort to leave the house every day. Because whenever I leave the house and I support a business, I always get content to report on. If I support a business, the next day, that's the show. So in an effort to always have content, maybe every Tuesday and Thursday, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I need to definitely go support a business because I would have content for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. Anyway, so I went to get my tires, and this is a negative experience. So I will not list the name of the company. I only list the name of the companies when it's a good or positive experience. So this was a negative experience. So I went to get my tires rotated. I called on yesterday was Tuesday. I called on Monday. Like, hey, I need to make an appointment to get my tires rotated. And as seasoned individual as I am, I always confirm the location because there are multiple locations. I'm like, hey, is this the location right next to the Target? The individual said, yes, this is the location next to the Target. All right. So I said, I need a appointment first thing in the morning, 8:00. Great. I said, who am I speaking with? I got a name. Said is Keith. Now I could literally hear. I knew this was the location of. This was actually in the shop. This was not a call center because I could hear tools and drills and the drill that they use to take the lug nuts off. I can hear all of that. So this is the store. No problem. So I get there at 7:45 because I want to be in and out. So there was an elderly lady in her car sitting, and when I got there, stood by the door. There was an older lady that got out of her car. I was a gentleman. I let her go in front of me. Anyway, right? So I get to the desk now, and it's time for me to I get to the desk and it's time for me to check in. And I'm like, hey, Wes Walters, at 8 o'clock. Oh, we don't see any Wes Walters here. I'm like, yeah, just double check again. At 8 o'clock, I spoke, and I should have an appointment for 8 o'clock. Oh, you sure this is the location? I was like, yes, I'm positive this is the location because I asked if this was the location next to the Target. And the guy said, Keith. I said, is Keith here? So there's no Keith that works here. So now my spidey senses are going off because I'm spotting BS, right? So I'm going from cool to getting a little frustrated because it's like the DMV. I don't want to stay here, right? But I have to. So I'm upset. And so he calls the other location. And the other location says, hey, do you have a Wes Walters on your list for 8 o'clock? The other person was like, no. Then miraculously, he did something with the computer and he found my my appointment. He's like, all right, cool. Well, you're here. He said, well, just for the record, there are 4 other people that have 8 o'clock appointments. I don't know how in the world 4 other people are getting tire rotations because I really don't care if 4 other people are getting tire rotations. I mean, if 4 other people have appointments, but there should only be 1 8 o'clock appointment for tire rotations. So it's like a dentist's office. You could have 5 people that have 8 o'clock appointments, 1 for a cleaning, 1 for a wisdom tooth extraction, 1 for a checkup, 1 for braces installation. So all of these require different techniques and different technicians. You need a hygienist for the cleaning. You need probably a dentist or a specialist to install braces. So these are all different categories. So it's okay to have multiple individuals for appointments at the same time if they all can be seen at the same time by different individuals. So I'm not offended yet. But apparently he said, well, your number, I said there are 4 other people for an appointment for 8 o'clock. I said, where am I in the list of 4 of 8 o'clock appointments? Because the whole purpose of making an appointment so that I don't have to wait all day. Said you're number 2 in the 8 o'clock appointments. And I'm upset now because there's like 5 days. Why don't you have 5 technicians working and each doing something else? Because I'm positive this other person that was in front of me was not getting the tires rotated. And if they were, then I should not have been booked for 8 o'clock. I should have been booked for 8:30. But I digress. So I'm already upset, right? So anyway, I go outside with my phone and I'm trying to kill time. I just hopped on a Zoom call, etc. And, then the guy comes around to me. First of all, I forgot to say the title of the show. The title of the show is the difference between an immediate upsell and being a predator. The difference between the immediate upsell and being a predator. So the guy comes out to the call, and says, hey, Mr. Walters, can you step over to the call for a second? I put my Zoom call on hold, and he pulls out his little stick and he's measuring the threads between the tires. And he's like, well, this is 2.6 millimeters or, and it needs to be 6 millimeters. And, I can't rotate these tires. Yeah, this is what the guy told me, man. He says, because the tires were less, I'm making up numbers, but the tires had 2 millimeters of thread. It needs to be 6 millimeters because it's a safety issue. I can't rotate these tires. He said, then he starts pulling out stuff out of the matrix. He says, well, the Department of Transportation, says it needs to be 6 millimeters and it's a safety concern. We can't do that. So I looked at the dude and I said, sir, I'm 44 years old. I've had about 10 cars in my life. And I've been using this same business to rotate my tires since 1997 when I moved here. And never in my life has a representative of this company tell me that my safety, the onus of the threads, the amount of threads on my tires was their responsibility. And that if something happened, with my car, with my tires, because of the threading, the Department of Transportation was going to blame your company. I said, never has that happened. So what are you talking about? You can't rotate the tires. I'm not here to purchase new tires. I don't want new tires. Rotate the tires. That's all I want you to do. See, he wasn't expecting that pushback. So immediately he was like, oh, well, okay, well, I'll rotate them, but I'll make a note that we're not responsible. Make 7 notes if that's what you need. But the pushback was not what he was expecting. And it came at this point, I'm upset because he's coming across as a predator now. Now, I tell you this, if this was my mother, now I feel so sorry for single women, and for the elderly, because if this was my mother, my mother would have purchased 4 new tires, guaranteed. He would have convinced my mother, because of the Department of Transportation safety codes, that those 4 tires on her car were not good enough or not safe enough anymore, and she would have had to purchase 4 new tires. If this was my mother, that was going to happen. If this was a single woman who knew nothing about cars, she would have had to purchase 4 more new tires. So it came across as 2 things: one, being a predator, and the second, or him just figured I would say, okay, well, since you're not going to rotate me, to acquiesce to his request about he can't change the tires. He figured I would have said, okay, well, I'm going to leave. So it was either 2 things: either he didn't want to do the tires and wanted me to say, all right, I'll leave, or second is he was trying to be a predator. Either way, they were both negative and put a bad taste in my mouth. Now, to his surprise, he thought I was a regular Joe Blow. To his surprise, I am a customer service and customer experience teacher, and I was going to definitely make a review with his name and tag in corporate. He didn't expect that. Oh, but that's coming. He was not expecting that, but that's coming. But that's what you get when you either become a predator or you take advantage of people who you feel that don't know any better. Because if I was a woman, imagine how many women he has used that on, and how many women acquiesced and said, okay, I'll buy the 4 new tires. Imagine how many senior citizens he has done that to. Imagine. So this broadcast is entitled "The Difference Between an Immediate Upsell and Being a Predator." This was in no way, well, let's just talk about what needs to be in place before making an immediate upsell. 1, you have to build rapport. No rapport was built. No rapport was built for this transaction. None. 0. No rapport was built. Absolutely none. Not, hey, Mr. Walters, how could he have built rapport? Hey, Mr. Walters, hey, how many miles do you drive per week? Is this your main car? Do you drive for a living? Are you like a Uber driver, a Lyft driver? Or are you a Uber Eats, a Grubhub delivery guy? Do you do Amazon deliveries? All of these questions would have built rapport instead of just going right in for the kill. Mr. Walters, take a look at how your threads on your car looks and the tires look. So building rapport. Now, the car, because I work from home, is simply used for going to Walmart and coming back home. That's it. So it's not a lot of driving. So I don't need it to have the Aqua Treads, the new and improved 2021 Aqua Treads on it. I don't. So he could have built rapport first. And secondly, what needs to be in place before you go in for the immediate upsell is you need to successfully have delivered the first product or service. So going back to building rapport, it's almost like when I used to do high ticket sales, you were always cautioned in going in for high ticket sales, which is like $3,000 or more. you could not go in for the kill before you built rapport, because any price out of context is too much. If it's $50 and it's out of context, it's too much. If I was to say, this cup of water costs $50, you'd be like, that's out of context. No way. If I was to say this mic costs $100, you'd have been, it's out of context. But if I tell you, hey, this is holy water from the Nile River, and this cup is not plastic, although it looks like plastic, this is the same material that they used on the space shuttle, then you're like, oh, it's worth $50, because any price out of context is too much. Telling you that, this pen cost $100. They're like, I'm not paying $100 for this pen. But if I told you this was Muhammad Ali's pen, or this was Malcolm X's pen, or this was the pen that Marcus Garvey wrote with, then you're like, oh, it's worth more than $100. So any price out of context is too much. So you cannot go in for a high ticket sale without building rapport. He could have built rapport by asking those questions again. How do you drive for a living? How many miles is on the car? Is this your main car? But no, he just went right in for the kill. Hey, you need 4 new tires. No, I don't. What else needs to be in place before before the immediate upsell? You need to successfully have delivered on the first product or service. I came to get my tires rotated. You needed to be sure that I was happy with that first before the immediate upsell. You should have known I was not happy for that, because when I first got here, you couldn't find my reservation, my appointment. Secondly, it's an hour and 15 minutes after, and you still haven't touched my car. So that should have automatically let you know this is not someone that I need to do an immediate upsell for, because they're not in a good mood. We have not delivered or served this customer at a world-class level at this point. So why go in for immediate upsell? It's going to be automatically rejected. You know, when I used to work at Red Lobster is, before we sent the manager over, there was a constant line of communication. The manager would check in with the waiter would check in with the manager, say like, what's the temperature like at that table? If that table was upset, if she was cramping, if she really didn't want to be there, if the husband really didn't want to be there, if he wanted to watch the game and she brought him into Red Lobster, or if she really wanted to be at home, but he insisted that she come out, if the bartender screwed up the drink, if anything was not well at that table, I would not send the manager over there for feedback, for a review, to submit a review. No. Or if I did send the manager over there, I'm like, hey, you need to go over there with some free drinks. He's drinking Alizé, and she's drinking a rum and coke. Lighten them up a little. So in order for you to initiate the immediate upsell, you have to have delivered on the basic first. I went there to get my tires rotated. This guy did not deliver on the basics. So how are you going to be in a position for an immediate upsell? So again, the difference between an immediate upsell and coming across as a predator is having those two things in place. First, you have to build rapport. And again, secondly, you have to have successfully delivered on the initial purchase. What did the customer come for? I came to get my tires rotated. Then why in the world, and you haven't done that successfully, why in the world are you trying to sell me 4 new tires? And not in a, hey, I suggest you getting 4 new tires. No, pulling out stuff from the matrix. You better get 4 new tires because the Department of Transportation said this is a safety hazard and I can't rotate your tires. Really? I mean, the guy, when I pushed back, he got as red as this office, and I could care less. He could have turned blue. But imagine again how many single women he takes advantage of, who are like, oh my God, it's a safety issue by the Department of Transportation. I don't want to die. Let me purchase 4 new tires. Imagine if that was my mother. My mother would have paid for 4 new tires. Imagine that was another senior citizen. How many others he has taken advantage of on a daily basis. So again, these are the 2 things that you want to have in place before the immediate upsell. Otherwise, you come across as a predator. And nobody likes predators. Especially, you can't come across as a predator when you're dealing with a lion. You can't come across as a predator when you're dealing with the lion. Yeah, you come across as a predator when you're dealing with other prey. When another lion pulls up on you, then you're like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I will rotate your tires. Yeah, he wasn't expecting that. And that's what happens when you're a predator, when you're a bully. So what does he get? He gets a negative review, and I'm going to definitely tag corporate, and hopefully he can get some training because he's taking advantage of single women and senior citizens. And it's not fair. So again, those two things definitely need to be in place before you go for the immediate upsell. You want to build rapport, and you want to have successfully delivered on the first product or service that the customer is paying for. Then, of course, you check the temperature. The customer's happy, then you go for the immediate upsell. Hey, say, you know what? We got a sale on tires right now. One of those made-up sales. If you buy 3 tires, you get 1 for free. I don't know who in the world created that, but I guess it works with, people that don't understand that you need 4 tires for a car. But, hey, Mr. Walters, we have a new sale right now. You can buy 3.5 tires and you get the other half of the tire for free. Yeah, but of course he needed to be sure that I was happy with the first service I was there for, the rotation. Just don't go in for a kill and threaten me and saying, well, I'm not going to rotate your tires because the onus is on us. We don't want the responsibility. We love you so much, Mr. Walters. If you die, we don't want to be held responsible. Like, get out of here with that nonsense. And I was upset because imagine if it was my wife that went to get her tires rotated. Imagine if it was my mother, my aunts, all of the older women in my life. I'm thinking of like, if they ever, I see how easily they're taken advantage of. How easily they take advantage of women. Like, I was upset. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, this is Hump Day. You guys have an amazing day. That was my little rant. And if you need help with anything concerning customer experience or customer service with your business, all you got to do is real simple. Go to workwithwes.com and you will share with us what your goals are. We will share with you what we do, how we do it, and how we can help you achieve those goals in the quickest time possible. We'll show you what needs to be in place before the immediate upsell. We will let you know that the things that need to be in place before the immediate upsell, and that going for the immediate upsell prematurely gets you not raving customers, but gets you upset customers like Wes Walters, and then they leave nasty reviews. Not nasty reviews. They leave reviews on your page for the world to see, and all other women are now going to be cautious when going to this, you're supporting your business. That's what you get because you think that, hey, everyone is just a regular Joe Blow. You never know who you're serving. That's why you have to serve each customer on the world-class level, because you never know. This could be Obama's cousin. This could be the mayor's son. This could be anyone. So because I'm dressed in typical civilian clothes, you're like, oh, let me run a scam on him. I don't know what I think it was because I was preoccupied in the Zoom call. He figured that all of my attention was not, I would be like, yeah, just get it. Because there is no way he could have sized me up and said, like, I can run game on him. There is nothing about my demeanor that says beta male, nothing. So I'm not sure where he got that from. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt as that because I was on a Zoom call, he figured I was more preoccupied with the call than paying attention to my tires, because there is nothing about me that says beta male that he felt that, yeah, I can run game on him. No, dude. But anyway, you guys have a great week. It's Hump Day. You should be halfway through your goals. And if you're not, you need to double up right now because Friday is going to be here quickly. And you don't want to have to be working Saturday and Sunday to catch up on your goals. All right. Go to workwithwes.com if you need help with anything. And I will see you guys on Friday. I think Friday is going to be an Ask Me Anything Friday. So if you got questions, start thinking about your questions. It's going to be an Ask Me Anything Friday. See you guys on Friday. Peace.